In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to add these SeaBell genuine spare parts onto your SeaBell double-wheeled glass nippers. Now there are a couple of kits available and we'll be talking about those as well. So let's get into the video. Now these SeaBell double-wheeled glass nippers that I have here is actually the first version that SeaBell released. And these didn't come with the green O-rings or the green bumpers. Now since then there's been a version 2, which is the current version out in the marketplace, and they actually do automatically come with those green O-rings. Now there's no other real difference between them except that, like I said, the later version does come with those green O-rings. When it comes to purchasing spare parts, there's a few different ways that you can go. SeaBell have released a couple of kits. These are the contents from the standard kit, and that kit contains a couple of green O-rings, a couple of washers, a couple of aluminium bushes, and also a couple of long bolts. The next kit is called a full kit, and that contains all this, plus the spring, plus a couple of titanium coated wheels. Now some of these parts can also be purchased separately. For instance, you can purchase the spring separately. You can purchase the double wheels separately. You can purchase the O-ring separately. But these three items here can only be purchased in a kit. Now that we've had an overview of the spare parts, let's now start putting them into the actual glass nippers. The first thing I'm going to do is change the spring, and I'm going to get the thickness of lock and change that to number 2, so as the nippers open up as wide as they can. Now when it comes to changing the spring, this is just the way that I do it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the easiest way or the best way. This is just the way that works for me. So when it comes to replacing the spring, you may want to come up with your own way that works for you. So all I'm going to do is get my thumb and my finger underneath and push the spring back onto itself so it removes from that lug there. And then I'm going to let the spring go. Then I'm going to get the new spring and put it back onto the left side and then push the actual spring back onto itself so I can now put it back onto that lug there. And there you go, I release it back on that lug and you've just now replaced your spring with a new spring. Now I'm going to show you how to replace the cutting wheels and also how to add the green O-rings onto this pair of nippers here. So we need to turn these over and you'll see a very large screw on this side. We need to undo that. Now if you can't undo it by hand, then you will need another tool such as a flathead screwdriver or some other type of tool that will enable you to loosen that. But mine's only been hand done, so I'm just going to get in there and undo it. And then I'm going to tip out the Allen key. Turn these over. Now the next step is to loosen and take out these bolts. When I do this, I normally do one at a time and complete one side first before I move on to the next side, because I can always refer back to the side that I haven't touched to put them back together correctly. So that's a little tip. So I'm going to undo this now. There you go. And I'll just do that with my finger. Remove the cutting blade and the bolt, and I'm going to keep these because you never know if they may come in handy further down the track. Now this is the new bolt and it's longer. So I'll be putting these in a plastic bag and storing them. Now to reassemble. So what we need is the bolt, the big bolt. Next what we need is the cutting wheel, and we need to make sure that the numbers go towards the head of the bolt, like that. Put them down there. Next we have the O-ring and the aluminium bush. We put the aluminium bush into the O-ring, very, very easy. Just goes in and out like that. Then we now add that behind the cutting wheel. Then we need to add the washer next, and that goes on behind the green O-ring. So that's how it's organised. Now we put that on top and we just do that up. and then we tighten it up. And we tighten it up firmly. Now what you can do is these have numbers on, these cutting wheels have numbers, so you can get number 1 and you can turn it into the center. So it's when those, assuming the other one's on here, the other green O-rings are on here, assuming that they're on, when they come together, number 1 and number 1 are opposite each other. That's how I replace and put spare parts onto my SeaBell double-wheeled glass nippers. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've taken something away from it. If you did, give me a like, share it if you saw value in it, and if you have a comment, put a comment down in the bottom of the comment section of the YouTube channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy.